welcome to March Q&A. And okay, we're going to get into it. There's quite a few questions. Okay, so first is from @AmberMitzi. She has she or he. I have rheumatoid arthritis, and help and advice would be greatly appreciated. Okay, well, it's inflammatory rheumatoid arthritis, so you want to think of anti-inflammatory things, which is often the case with lots of arthritic issues. You could try glucosamine, which is what I would suggest for arthritis, but in particular for rheumatoid arthritis, I think things like pineapple would be really good. Oh, I know, that's what I put. Turmeric would be amazing. So cooking with turmeric would be fantastic. It's really anti-inflammatory. You could also take a curcumin supplement. Things like animal fats you want to reduce, things like sugar you want to reduce because they cause real inflammation. You want to get some good fats in there from avocados, oily fish, nuts and seeds and things like that. That would be really helpful. And things like, you could take a fish oil supplement as well, would be probably really good for you. And you could try ginger, it's also really anti-inflammatory. So those are the things I would start with. If you're not doing any of those, then those things will help. And also a probiotic for a month would be really great for you. Okay, @Isabella Beauty and Health. Best diet foods for someone with endometriosis. Okay, well, endometriosis, you really, really want to reduce your sugar for this. And so fizzy drinks, you want to also increase fibre, because fibre will help it helps your bowel movement basically, which helps get the estrogens out, so it helps keep everything moving and getting all the hormones going out. The other thing that I thought about were hormone disruptors, so things like plastics. So try to step away from using plastics because they have things called xenoestrogens in them, which are hormone disruptors. And also the other thing, actually talking about hormone disruptors, is if you eat meat, I don't know if you do eat meat, but something like, so meats need to be organic, because if you are using meats that have got hormones in them, that's really not going to help you at all. And also, actually, while we're on the subject, pesticides, thinking pesticides, so try and buy, if you're not buying organic and you don't want to, or you don't use organic food, just make sure you peel what you can peel and wash what you can wash. @HannahLawsonArt. #gluten. My 5-year-old son is gluten-free and has been for 4 years. He has severe food allergies, and I've done the 4 or 5 hour healing protocol with him as much as she could. How long do you think I should remain off gluten? We're so used to it now, but I'm wondering about trying some spelt sourdough. Worried he may be sensitive if I abstain forever. He still has eczema too. Sorry, this one might be too big a question without background info. That's true. A simpler one. I'm using coconut sugar to sweeten my coffee. Is that really better than sugar? Any other sweetening suggestions? Okay, let's do the gluten bit first. So it depends. Is he celiac? Obviously, because if he's celiac, when you say food allergies, how severe are the food allergies? Is he allergic to gluten? In which case, you definitely don't want to be putting him back on gluten. I definitely think if he's not allergic to gluten, and gluten intolerant, then I would definitely try and get some back in, because it's a complicated protein to break down. It's hard for the body to break it down, but you don't want to. It's kind of cutting out quite a lot of food, and I always think if you can get it in there and and you can get the gut working with it well, then it's good to include as much food as you can into a diet. Also because they're just very young, and cutting out gluten is quite, even though it's much easier these days, it's still something for them to think about when they're very little, and it would be good to know how he reacts to gluten when he's in the sort of a monitored environment and you know what he's having. So I would say try. Eczema, I mean, it would definitely need to talk more about where that's coming from. Coconut sugar. Now, someone else has asked about coconut sugar, I think. So, where is it? Somebody else did. Hang on. @Helen Francis Austin. Is coconut sugar better than brown or other sugars based on GI release, etc.? Is it worth the money? So, okay, so this is the question, the answer for both of you. Coconut sugar still causes an insulin response. It still causes a sugar, so that's insulin spike. The thing that is better about coconut sugar is it is less refined, so it's not bleached or any of that stuff. It also has a higher mineral content, but So that's why I would use it. It's just more natural, but it still is a sugar, so it still creates the same response in the body that white sugar, table sugar does, or whatever, not table salt, table sugar. So, again, it's used in moderation, but it does have a high mineral content. It has a lower GI as well, so it is better, but I don't think it's still sugar, I suppose is what I'm trying to say. Okay, I hope that answers that. And if you want anything else, perhaps we should talk a bit more, Hannah, about your son. Maybe I think you should probably go and see a healthcare person for that. Okay, at Gemma Brown 11, do you have any supplement tips for fatigue, Rosemary? And would a balanced mineral drink be good? Well, fatigue, I tell you what, it depends. So the main thing about fatigue is what's making you tired. Are you working too much? Are you burning the candle at both ends? A sleeper problem? What's the cause for your fatigue? I mean, lots of people are tired just because life is tiring these days and there's just too much going on. So in that case, helping your body cope with that, if you're very, very tired, eating small and often is a good way to make sure you keep a stable blood sugar level and you've always got energy there. So that's something I would think about. Water. Lots of people are dehydrated. They don't drink enough water, and that will cause fatigue. So that's a very simple thing to do. And the other thing is, you could have a think about how your adrenal glands are. Are your adrenal, you're getting that midday dip. Are your adrenal glands struggling to keep up with your stressful life? Is it stress that's causing it, I suppose, is what I'm saying. In which case, try and work out how to reduce that stress. Maybe some yoga, meditation, and stuff like that. And for fatigue, I would suggest a magnesium supplement or a B vitamin, a B complex might be something to take. Make sure you're eating lots of greens which have lots of B vitamins in them. And drink lots of water and see how you get on with that, I would. Okay, next, at AimMol55. My eyelashes are falling out. Could be stress, but any nutritional pointers? Okay, well again, if it's stress, then I think small meals is a really good thing to do because that keeps your body from getting stress from hunger, then loads of food, then a sugar spike, then a sugar dip, blood sugar levels all over the place. It's stressful. The other thing you think about, I was wondering if it's blepharitis, I think it's called, which is like where there's a slight infection in the eyelashes. If that's what it is, then you can treat it. There's something called Visualize from High Nature. That's a nice supplement to take for eye health and things like that. If it is stress, then you need to deal with stress, which would be things like an adrenal support again, and purple vegetables and purple fruit are really, really good for eye health and for eyelashes. You need to try and find out what the root cause is. If it's an infection in the eye, which is called like bacteria, then you need to deal with that, obviously. And if it's stress, then try to reduce your stress. I hope that's helpful for that. At Nick Hitchens, been stressed at work and my face is breaking out dermatitis. I'm trying to swap coffee and alcohol for apple cider vinegar and lemon and water. Not quite the same. No, not the same at all. But so dermatitis is an inflammatory thing. So I think again you need to work out what the stress is. What's the stress, or can you reduce it? Because I know when we talk about stress and I say can you reduce it, I know that it's not always possible to reduce it because work's really busy at the moment or whatever it is. I understand that, so we have to try to work with that. And I'm just thinking that again, magnesium might be a really good one for you actually, because magnesium is very calming, and it would be very good at the end of the night to take a magnesium supplement in the evening. Dermatitis is inflammation and angry. So try something like pineapple is really good because it's got bromelain in it, which is very calming. Papaya is really good too. It's got some nice calming things. You could try turmeric again. Apple cider vinegar what did you say? Taking apple cider vinegar and lemon and water. That's a really good way to do it. Try green tea instead of coffee. Green tea's got some L-theanine in it, which is really good for calming. So I think you need to be thinking, essential fatty acids as well. So get your omega-3s in, or things like avocado, flax seeds, oily fish. They're all fantastic for calming down inflammation and really good for the skin. Vitamin E, things like oat bran and things like that have got vitamin E in them, which are really good for the skin too. Okay. At Helen Francis Austin, hi, would you recommend getting a food allergy test, sending off a strand of hair to see if I'm allergic to any particular ingredients? So which company would you advise to use? Thank you. Okay, well, I use food intolerance testing. It depends which one you're... a food allergy test, if you're allergic to something, so there's a very clear distinction. Intolerances are things that irritate and niggle and cause gastric upset or, bloating. They can cause fatigue, it can cause aching joints, skin, those things. An allergic reaction is something that is more in line with welts, and it's very, very marked, like anaphylactic shock, swelling up, and that's... you would really know about that, I think, probably. So I'm just wondering if you're looking for an intolerance test or an allergy test. One is they test different proteins, so IgE and IgG. They're two different immunoglobulins which they will test for. One is for allergy, one is intolerance. So just check and be sure you're testing for the right one, because testing is not cheap. But I use intolerance testing a lot in my clinic, and it's very useful for a snapshot in time. So I get to see what is irritating the body at that point in time. And then I can take all those things, we can take that information and use it however we want, but to help get it's usually when the gut isn't working right that you find you're intolerant to stuff, because the gut's just not processing it correctly, so it's irritating the body. And then when you get the gut working better, it works better. So in answer to your question, the lab that I use is called Cambridge Nutritional, and I think theirs is really good. There's another one called the York test, which is really good too. I know that a lot of practitioners use. So one of those two I would suggest if you're doing intolerance testing. Okay, at H. May Brown, what should a simple spring detox look like? Well, the simplest spring detox you could do would just be to eat fruit and vegetables for 5 days, also, and with a bit of brown rice. But if you just ate a vegetable-based diet for 5 days, and if you wanted to boost that a bit, if that's too light, so you could have soups. I'm thinking of soups and veg stews, but if you wanted to boost that a bit, you could use some pulses and keep it plant-based. If you wanted to go a bit further, you could do liquid days, so soups, smoothies, juices. And I think, when I think of spring, it's all very green. You've got the spring greens around, there's peas, there's asparagus that's coming in. You've got loads and loads and loads of vegetables out there, green vegetables. So if I was going to do a spring detox, that's what I would do. At Macarena Benitez, coconut oil, yes or no? Okay, so the jury's out on coconut oil at the moment. For me, I love using coconut oil. It's great topically as well. There is not enough research to say whether it's, they're trying to work out if it really is a stable fat or not, but it is better to cook with because its heat point is higher. So basically, there's not an answer to that question. I would say yes at the moment. Me and my brigade say yes. But there is not enough research backing up the health claims, I think, is really where we're at. Lucy Knusden said tips for psoriatic arthritis. It's inflammation. Again, it seems to be the theme for today. And I can imagine it's really very unpleasant for you. So things like Epsom salt bath would be really soothing for both for the skin and the joints. I'm trying to think what else you could do. So turmeric again would be really, really fantastic. Anything anti-inflammatory, make sure you're not drinking any coffee. Try to reduce all the sugar in your diet, and including from alcohol. Try to make sure you're eating loads and loads of, and make sure you're actually, lean protein is very important in your case for your skin as well, for the rebuilding of that. So lean proteins or vegetable proteins like beans and lentils and stuff like that. Make sure you're drinking lots and lots of water. Vitamin E oil would be really nice for that as well. An essential fatty acid, I would definitely take a fish oil. I don't know if you're vegan or not, but I would definitely take a really good fish oil with really high, strong EPA and DHA in it. That would be really important. Apple cider vinegar is meant to be good because it's meant to help. There are reports that have been quite useful in this situation, so I'd take maybe a cup of apple cider vinegar before you eat. And yeah, see how you get on with that. I've been talking a bit about oat bran baths and lately, and that would be really helpful if your skin's inflamed as well. You could do a bit of an Epsom salt and oat bran because it's got that milky, and it's very soothing because of the vitamin E in the oatmeal. Lily Donna Young. Any thoughts on diets for long-term CFS with very low ATP? Make sure that you're eating really nice fish as well, like oily fish 3 times a week. And olive oil is really good for it too. No sugar. Make sure you're eating loads of vegetables. You want loads of green vegetables. Again, I would eat small and often. Actually, I would make sure that you are having a little bit of carb, a little bit of protein, and greens with every single meal. Make sure you're not eating anything that's too draining. So things like red meat or high animal fats. They would be very tiring for the body to digest, and they don't yield. It would be hard. There are things that would be more efficient for you to eat. I also think, things like sugars and fried food are really not great for your body, for you in particular. I wonder how long you've had chronic fatigue for. CoQ10 and NADH are 2 supplements that I would say that you should be taking for sure, along with probably a really good B complex to help. I wonder how it's hard to know, because I wonder how you're doing with exercise, because if you're exercising and you're tired, then I would reduce that and just walk. Be really kind to yourself, because just give yourself a chance to get better. Okay, at Minister O'Connor Reagan, very interested in studying naturopathic nutrition. Would you recommend CNM? It was great for me studying there because it's so flexible and I really enjoyed it. So I would say that, and the qualification you get is really well respected and stuff. So it worked really well for me because it just fitted in with, because I was still working and I had 3 kids and stuff. So I thought, it's really good for that. At Maud, menopause, natural ways to navigate hot flushes, moods, etc. Supplements, food. Well, hot flushes, my favourite all-time remedy for those is sage, whether it's sage leaves in a cup of tea or sage tea bags, or you can have sage to your cooking, to salad and stuff. It really does work wonders. I've had so many good reports about that. Ginseng is really helpful for energy levels, and also black cohosh is brilliant for menopausal symptoms, so try those. And B complex again, L-theanine is really good for calming if your moods are quite spiky. And you want to make sure you're eating loads of fibre, because again it's a hormone situation, so you want to be getting those hormones out of the body, and the quickest way to do that obviously is through your stool. And you also need to support your liver a little bit, so make sure you've got lots of water going in. Some purple vegetables like beetroot are really good. Some artichoke would be great actually. And see how you get on. I think that, and there are some brilliant, herb mixtures out there. The Organic Pharmacy do a great tincture called Menopause, and it's a brilliant it's a herbal tincture that you add to water. It's fantastic. So you can try that. That's the Organic Pharmacy. But sage is the one for your hot flushes. I'm sure that will help. At Sarah Young, 8155, recommendations for a good probiotic, please. I work with an amazing company called Renew Life, and their probiotics are amazing. They're really fantastic. But it's good to rotate as well. So there's one called Simprove Your Life. Simprove Your Life. Simprove is what they're called. I don't know why I said Simprove Your Life. Maybe that's their tagline. They're brilliant. That's a really brilliant, very thorough protocol, a 6-week protocol. And then there are other ones like Biocult, which I use very often too. I think it's really good to rotate in, because you get different strengths and strains with different brands. So Octobac. But those are the ones I'd use. I definitely would spend some good money on, I'd spend the money if they're expensive. I think it's worth it for probiotics. At Kelly_O_19, 9-year-old with hellish seasonal allergies, pollen, who can't have any nut milk or sesame, etc. Giving him quercetin, vitamin C, probiotics, but just wondering nutritionally what I could do for him. Thank you. Okay, well, things like beetroot and artichoke would be really good for him too, actually. Oh, her, sorry, it doesn't say. Oh, no, him. Would be really good. I was thinking, of the supplements you're taking, perhaps you should look at beta-glucans. Beta-glucans could be really helpful for the immune system, for a young immune system especially. Beta-glucans 1, 3 and 6, I'd have a look at those. I think could be quite helpful. Okay, and then back to food. Nettle is a really good one for this. Nettle, so you can make it, make nettle tea. I don't know if a 9-year-old would like a nettle tea, it's quite pungent. Or you could you could just put nettles in soup and things like that, or but nettles are really, really good for this sort of thing. And as I said, beetroot and artichoke. Greens are really good. Oily fish again, because you want to calm the system down, and good fats, avocados. Flaxseed would be really good. Sunflower seeds would be great too. So any of those oily ones would be, any good fats would be really good actually to help calm the system down. But I would have a look at the beta glucans too. So okay, so that's it for this month, and I will see you next month. I hope that helped everyone, and if you have any more questions, let me know. Okay, bye.